Okay, so now let's get started with the topics. So first of all, I'm going to start by touching computing devices. And there's a lot of terms that I'm going to throw out here, but I hope it'll be more clear once you hear all of them that they're not that daunting and it kind of refers to the same thing most of the time. So in general, you'll hear a lot in the IT industry a concept called host. So what is a host? A host is a general term for a computer in the environment. It can be a client, it can be a server. Usually it refers to a client, but this is basically a machine, a laptop, a desktop, a server, a host. The second topic is a server. So a server refers to something that is serving either a service or an application or something of that nature. There's a lot of types of servers in an environment, but usually it refers to any kind of machine that is serving multiple hosts, meaning that it's usually a more to one to many relationship. There is one server hosting, for example, printing services, and all the machines in the environment connect to it to print. So it's a one to many relationship from the server perspective. A computer is a very similar term to host, and just to make things a bit more clear, it's a machine that is usually referred to a client machine, a laptop, or a desktop, but I've heard people call servers computers, so it really doesn't matter. An endpoint, it refers to a client machine. This is a loose term, so it can still mean a device, but it usually refers to a machine that is connecting to something. So an endpoint in an environment is a desktop that is connecting and using the services in the environment. It sometimes is a laptop or a tablet or other devices that are connecting to a server. So that is also a common term for that. A client refers to a machine that is running a client-based operating system, and we'll touch on it in the future, but in general it can be also a user logging into an application, a client of an application or an operating system. So this term sometimes refers to a user and not necessarily a device. Just as a disclaimer, I said it, all terms are loose, things change. You need to understand from the context because it does matter a lot, and people make mistakes in the terms all the time. I know I do it, I know everyone does it. So pay attention to what they're saying. A few pictures just to get the grasp. Clients are things that are similar to the thing you see on the right. It's a laptop, it's a desktop, it's something that the user logs into. It's a single user or multiple user logging into a machine and working on it. Something that you're probably familiar with the machine you're watching this video on, or a machine that you use at work. On the left side, you see servers. As you can see, servers are much more robust. Usually they're bigger in size and also physically a bit different than client. Servers are usually things that are not decorated with a screen. Usually we connect to them remotely, so there's less of an emphasis towards how it looks with a machine with a screen. But in general, it comes in all kinds of form factors, either a machine that looks like a very big desktop or a machine that looks like a pizza box, and there's all kinds of names and brands. The idea is that a server serves multiple clients, and I'm not going to touch more on that topic. In terms of the next topic, switch, router, modem, basically all of these terms refer to a network device. Network device comes in many shapes and sizes, and they're basically divided by their function. So a switch is a device that can connect multiple hosts, multiple machines, a client, a server, anything, and together to the same network. It is usually the same networks. There are some exceptions, but for now, it is the same network. A router is a device that is used to route or basically connect multiple different networks. So, for example, two networks of a companies, two companies that are joined, or two companies that are connected physically, will be usually connected by a router between them. It can also refer to two apartments. If you have an apartment building and it's connected to another apartment building for a shared internet service, usually it is with a router between them. Or if you have multiple floors of your company, or a company that is divided geographically, a router is connecting between those various geographic locations. So there's a lot of configurations here. The main idea is that it's connecting multiple networks. And a modem is a device that is used to connect to a dial to an internet service provider in most use cases. And it's basically referring to a device that you use in order for you to gain access to a WAN network, to a network that is not belonging to you, usually using a dial up, a phone line, or something of that nature. There are other flavors. In terms of how it looks, as you can see, there is quite a big variation between how a switch looks like. There is the small switch in the right corner that is something that is used in your home environment and such, and there's the big switches or multiple switches that come in a pizza box type configuration. There's multiple number of ports, so you can have a switch with 8 ports, 16, 24, 48, etc., and it grows and grows. And in terms of the left, you're seeing a router. Again, this is like the home router, something that you connect in your home in order for you to gain access to the internet. And next to it is a more industrial router that you're using in an environment, in a company, to connect a company office to the internet or to other area networks. And at the bottom, you can see some modems. Sometimes you're not seeing them and they're integrated into the router, so it can be a physical device that is invisible, so to speak. But sometimes they are separate, like a NetStick modem or a modem that is dedicated. And this is less and less common nowadays, but it is something to be aware of. The next topic I'm going to touch is regarding LAN, WAN, and Internet. These are common terms to describe types of networks. And basically, if I'm going to boil it down to the simple specifics, local area network refers to your home network, an internet network in your office, internal network, I'm sorry, in your office, something like a coffee shop, something that is contained in a local environment where all the devices are connected. And that is what is considered LAN. Most networks are LAN based and they're connected to a WAN. A WAN is a wide area network, and this is referred to a connection to an external network or comprised of multiple local area networks that are connected together, typically using an ISP. There are other flavors, but usually 99% of the time there is an ISP connecting all of those LANs together. And the internet service provider also is a common terms that you're talking about the internet service provider. And an internet is basically a WAN network that connects many hosts across many LAN environments. And there we're basically connecting a lot of infrastructure together using the ISP WAN as the intermediate. I like this picture because it's very clear and simple. Consider multiple LAN networks. If you're seeing multiple LAN networks connected, the connection, the between connectors are the WAN, and the internal networks are called LAN. And this is where I'm going to wrap up this video.